Hi guys, this is again Alan and welcome back to my watercolor channel. Today in this video, I'm gonna be pouring my paints into my brass palette India, and after that, I'm gonna be swatching them as well. This is a continuation of my brass palette India unboxing video the other day, and for those who haven't seen it yet, I'll be linking it here. I'll be speeding up in portions the hand pouring process so that we can focus on my color selection and how I selected those 20 as we swatch. The paints I'm using here are all Daniel Smith watercolor paints. All are single pigment and two of them are Primatech colors. All the colors that I've selected here are excellent when it comes to light fastness because I'm using these professionally. I have divided my paints into 7 groups. The first group are the cool primaries, the second are the mid primaries, the third are the warm primaries, the fourth are the muted primaries or the earthy primaries, the fifth are the earth colors, the sixth are my sort of black and white, and the seventh or the last are the treat colors or my favorite landscape colors. I'd like to fill this palette up to the edge of the grids because when they dry, I know they're gonna be shrinking. But for this video, I think single filling would be enough. I'm using toothpick to get the paints in every corner and to make them even. Please do let me know if you're interested to seeing the hand pouring process video uncut and in real-time speed in a separate video. And after 2 days, they are now partially dry, but the inside is still moist, of course. But now I think they're ready for use. Here in the Philippines, it usually takes a month or more before the DS paints get fully dry in pans. I love how they dried here in my palette and they look so satisfyingly good. I arranged my card where the first 4 columns have the cool, mid, warm, and muted primaries all lined up. On the 5th column, I put my treat colors, and at the lowermost row, I put the earth colors. I am positioning the blues at the 3rd row and the earths at the 4th row for the two to have closer access because I mix them a lot. So let's begin swatching. For my cool yellow, I have here Azo Yellow PY151 or benzimidazolone yellow. Some count these as a primary yellow, but for my liking, I am counting these as cool. It's intense and almost completely transparent. I am using these for my still life paintings, for my florals, for my botanicals, and even in my urban paintings. For my mid, let's have Nickel Azo Yellow, PY150 or Nickel Azomethane Yellow. This is my all-time favorite yellow because it's extremely light fast, intense, transparent, and has a low drying shift. Some artists count these as a warm yellow, but I am considering it as a mid since it gives a slightly cool yellow appearance in glazing, so several light washes give you a mid, in my opinion. I'm using these in all my subjects and for making quinacridone gold along with PO48. Yes, this is very useful for me. Isowindolene yellow using PY139 is my warm yellow as an alternative to my preferred cadmium yellow dip PY35, which we all know are no longer available in Daniel Smith. PY139 is also intense and is slightly opaque, and I'll be needing this for my urban paintings, for the street lights, for the car lights, and even in sunset and still life paintings. Mars Yellow using PY42 or synthetic iron oxide is my muted or earthy yellow. I chose this over yellow ochre and raw sienna because this is closer to yellow. This is slightly opaque and rich, and it is very useful in my landscapes and portraits. I love mixing these with my blues for very natural green tones for my landscapes. Buff Titanium uses PW6:1, which we all know is a white pigment. It's a titanium pigment heated up at a very high temperature. But for my purist friends, please don't worry too much as this isn't super white. It's a latte white, a cream white, which I use a lot in my portraits, skies, and more. Quinacridone Rose PV19 or Gamma Quinacridone is my cool red choice as it is very clean, strong, and light fast. I don't use this color a lot, but my palette cannot live without it because when I need it, I really need it, and there's no alternative. I use this for my portraits, florals, and for mixing the most attractive violets. Perylene Red PR178 is my chosen mid-red. It is very rich, semi-opaque, and overpowering. I use this for my still lifes, florals, and to my architectural and modern subjects. This color, because of its richness and opacity, can be very tricky to use, but it's pleasing in washes. Pyrrole Scarlet PR255 is my chosen warm red for this set as an alternative to the cadmium red light PR108 that DS doesn't anymore have. But it is totally fine as Pyrrole Scarlet is also excellent in light fastness and is extremely intense. It is very useful in still life works, for sunsets, and for city lights. I also love mixing these with blues for those close to moon glow and shadow violet colors. Perylene Maroon using PR179 is a very beautiful bloody red color, and I find it very useful for portraits and architectural works. Some artists overlook this color, but for me, it makes lots of magics, from moody purples to royal oranges to sophisticated neutral tints, if mixed with the right colors. Serpentine Genuine is my only main green in this set, and I'm truly in love with its dual tone. This unique color is extracted from the serpentine gemstone, so it's kind of expensive. However, it is very light fast and makes the most interesting foliages in my botanical paintings. Phthalo Blue Turquoise PB16 or Phthalo Cyanine Turquoise is my chosen color for cool blue. I am honestly not a fan of phthalo blues as I hate highly staining colors, but I admit it, I need a phthalo. I chose PB16 over PB15 as this is cooler and won't require me anymore to get another phthalo, which is PG7 or a phthalo green. This is super useful in my beach paintings and for making interesting violets as well. This is also the best blue in making vibrant greens if you need them. Just mix it with a cool yellow. For my case, it's my Azo yellow. Cobalt Blue PB28 or Cobalt Aluminum Oxide is my chosen mid blue for this set. It is the most light fast blue I know and is also very useful in my landscapes, particularly in my skies and in my seas. Believe it or not, I also use this in my portraits as I love its texture and behavior. French Ultramarine PB29 or Sodium Aluminum Sulfosilicate is my warm blue choice for this set. It is very versatile, strong, and reliable. It is also interestingly granulating and dominant. It actually needs no introduction, but I use this for my florals, yes I do, for skies, for portraits, and ultimately for making Jane's Gray. Just mix it with burnt sienna. Indian Throne Blue PB60 is my muted blue because it is not as lively as the others, but also it leans towards the warm blue. I use this in making indigo and other greens. I find this as a perfect midnight blue color that is very useful for my night paintings and also for galaxy art. Cobalt Teal Blue, despite being more of a blue color, uses the green pigment PG50. Cobalt Titanium Oxide is a reliable, saturated, and semi-opaque pigment, and this version is a treat for me. I use these a lot in urban paintings as it pops up in my work due to its unmatched glow. I also love using these in my beach paintings and in making smoky and sophisticated purples and lilacs. Raw Umber or Natural Iron Manganese Oxide version of PBR7 is my cool brown in this set and is a brown that is deep and sort of grayish. I use this in my landscapes mainly and to botanicals and architectural works as well. PBR7 is truly the most trusted brown pigment. Quinacridone Burnt Orange, PO48, makes it in my list as it makes my ever favorite quinacridone gold hue along with PY150 or Nickel Azo Yellow. We all know PO49 is no longer available. That's the genuine quinacridone gold. So I need to mix these two pigments, PO48 and PY150, to achieve a close quin gold color. The range of earthy yellows and oranges the two create is very useful in my style, especially in my ecclesiastical artworks and in my heritage architecture paintings as well. Burnt sienna or calcinated natural iron oxide is my ultimate favorite brown. It also uses the ever dependable PBR7. I use this in all of my subjects and I mix it a lot with my blues, particularly the PB29 or French ultramarine to make grays. My palette always needs this exact color. Bloodstone Genuine is my chosen black color in this set, although it appears to be more of a very dark brown color in washes. This is, by the way, a mineral aggregate heliotrope based on my Google search, of course. But I am truly in love with its texture of being granular, velvety, and matte. It is like no other, and so I cannot, think of any replacements. And last but not the least is the Perylene Green PBK31 or Perylene Black. Despite being named a black pigment, I am counting and using these as a green color. I use these alone in deep green foliage works, in shadows, and in moody landscapes. I also mix these a lot with my yellows to generate, strong but natural looking greens. And now it's already dry. I'm gonna give you now a closer look. Look at that. All the colors are vibrant and beautiful. So here now are my 20 chosen colors for my Brass India palette. I'm not gonna be doing a sample painting this time, but I promise in the coming uploads and demonstrations, you will see more of these palette as I'm gonna be using them professionally. You can see that all the yellows are lined up in this side, all the reds here, the blues here, the earth colors here, as I've mentioned earlier. And in this column are the cool primaries, mid, warm, and the earthy primaries. All of these three groups make effective triads. You may also add in this triad the earth colors at the bottom to make it even more workable as a limited palette. I also forgot to mention that I used Arches 185 cold pressed cotton paper for the swatch, and my brush was Da Vinci Maestro 6. This is a Kolinsky brush. I enjoy mixing my colors, and so I decided this time to have all single pigment colors. So I think we're done. If you have questions or comments, or if you want to know alternative color choices, say from other brands, please let's discuss it at the comment box. If you're not subscribed yet, please do subscribe to my channel to show support to my videos. Please also don't forget to give a thumbs up to this video. Again, this has been Alan, and thank you for watching. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.